Welcome back to another episode of the Convo Sutra. My name's Tarun Shetty. We've got another great cast of South Asians, different than the last bunch of people we got. We just replaced a few. Hey, why don't we go around and introduce ourselves?
I'm Ritu, Mahindru, and people ask me what I do for a living, and currently I'm figuring that out.
Perfect.
Nice.
Hi, I'm Naomi Parmar. I was here in the last podcast we did. I'm still an interior designer.
Good to know nothing's changed in 2 weeks. I'm Richard I need to start pronouncing my last name correctly, Richard Sarvate, and I'm a stand-up comedian.
Wasn't a great bunch. Who wants to kick off? Who had a good week?
Yeah, I had a really good week, but can I pour you guys some chai, please? There's no Convo Sutra that is complete without some chai.
Please.
That's true.
Let's all watch Richard pour chai awkwardly.
Oh, you poured mine first.
No burn.
Did you actually make this yourself at home?
I did make it myself, yes.
The color looks good.
Oh my God.
Nice, says the person who can't drink dairy.
I know. I was just thinking that. I was like, oh, it's not oat milk chai.
Do people cheers to chai?
I think we should.
Cheers.
Cheers to a fan. Oh, she can't
Oh,
drink.
sorry.
Sorry.
It's like a
just for
non-alcoholic at a bar.
Cheers to a fantastic episode.
I'll just sit here and watch you guys enjoy
Did I
chai.
cheers you? No, I don't know.
Oh, this is delicious.
Can we play that back
Is
to
it?
see if she cheers me?
Should I have a sip?
Yeah, have a sip.
There we go.
All right. Can you pass me mine?
Yeah, of course.
You can just smell it.
I know.
Oh, this is really good, actually.
Is it good?
Yeah, I didn't have to
Are you
pretend.
lying?
No, I was
Oh,
fully
yes.
prepared to pretend it was good, just like for the effort, and I don't have to.
Just for the effort?
Yeah.
It's like, wow, that was a really good audition of someone who's loving chai.
Would you go to a restaurant and do that too? Like just for like the effort that they're making the food? Be like,
No, because
oh.
I'm paying at a restaurant. I didn't pay him, so it's okay.
You can.
I can.
You can't.
Yeah, I accept
What's your
tips.
Venmo?
Oh, yeah, you can, Venmo as many rupees as you want to.
Oh,
at Richard
it actually
Sarvate.
is really good.
Ooh.
He wants to get paid in rupees.
Oh my gosh. I actually don't drink anybody else's chai but my dad's because he makes the best, but this is pretty good.
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
I
so
gotta
it's
say.
a lot of elaichi, some fennel, and some clove, some. Also, it feels good when you mash up the peppercorns because then it burns the back of your throat a little bit.
Wait, but what is the sugar?
The sugar is jaggery.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Good. You put good. Jaggery
Is that how you
good.
pronounce jaggery?
Yeah, it's like that orangey looking.
Yeah.
That's what it is? Oh my God.
Which is crazy. Like jaggery is like the purest sugar ever, right? Because you just take the cane sugar and then you just heat it until it's solid.
This is actually really good. I have a business proposal for you.
Oh yeah.
Oh, this is a
I don't know.
South Asian podcast for sure.
I don't know if people are going to go for Richard's chai. You know.
Well, speaking of, what is your real name, or is it Richard?
So my real first name is Richard. My dad wanted us to integrate into American society, appear American. I mean, I don't know if it's working. You know, like
Do you have green eyes? So that's what kind of threw me off.
yeah. And nobody in my family has green eyes.
Maybe
Yeah.
your parents weren't trying to assimilate. Maybe they did, and you don't know the other side of the family.
So,
This is gonna take a dark turn.
well, I don't know if this is the case with your guys' families, but my family doesn't talk about anything. So I don't know. Like I could, my dad could be different. My mom could be different. And they would just keep it a secret. So yeah, I'm the only one with the green eyes in my family, and I don't ask questions.
Did girls find it exotic, your green eyes?
They do, yeah. But I like the compliment every time I get it.
Have you seen the movie A Big Trouble in Little China back in the 80s?
Okay.
Not to date myself. and there's like this girl with green eyes that they're trying to. Anyways, let's save this. For
Oh
the
yeah, no,
movie.
I relate to her, yeah, so deeply.
I mean, you kind of have really light eyes too, Naomi.
But like my dad has them in my dad's side, so like.
So you
it's
know where
easy to-
they potentially
yeah.
may have come from. Yeah.
Like the mailman.
But like, what about your name, Naomi?
Oh, so like I have an Indian name, but Naomi came from the fact that back in the day I used to go to auditions and I did like commercials and went to auditions for commercials, and then they would just get so hung up on saying my name right or wrong. But I've been going by Naomi for so long that that's like a name I picked for myself.
Yeah.
And I grew up on anime too. It's actually a Japanese name also. So like that's kind of where it came from.
Oh, that's cool.
So do you feel like more of a Naomi or
Yeah.
more of a, okay.
Yeah.
I have only an Indian name, which I used to pronounce Ritu, and I still do pronounce it as Ritu. But when I was doing Showbiz India, so I was a movie review host on Showbiz India, and I used to say Ritu Mahindru, and they were like, "You're saying your name wrong. It's Ritu." And I was like, "Oh, no one in my whole life has corrected me. So, because who was going to correct me at school? You're saying your
Yeah.
name not the Indian way." So I kept it as Ritu or Ritu, but my parents actually have American names. So my parents are Al and Nancy.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And I thought I would change my name at some
Are
point.
you Catholic?
No.
Oh.
They were just like, when
That's
they
interesting.
first came here in this
Yeah.
country, like it was just not common to have so many ethnic names, and they just wanted it to be easy, like,
Right.
you know, for people to pronounce. So they just became Al and Nancy. But I never had the desire to change my name. Even when I was in school, I just was like, Ritu is fine. There was a moment when I thought I wanted to be Rachel, you know, but that was
Yeah.
like after watching Friends, you know.
You could be
'cause
Ross.
Rachel.
You kind of just, you actually reminded me
Whatever.
that I actually say my last name wrong.
Parmar?
Yeah, like it's actually not pronounced that way.
Oh.
And that's why like the first name never mattered, because like whenever I went to like a new school, new city, because I moved around a lot, everyone always called me by my last name. But it's not Parmar, and I say Parmar. It sounds nicer, I think, but it's really Parmar.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like
I
it's
like that.
it's like a harder, like
Parmar.
tougher sound, which I also like, but I forget that. I
Yeah.
forgot that until you said that you say your name a little.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and
What had you keep your name?
How do I keep my name?
No, like what had you keep it? Like why didn't, like, cause you're in the limelight. Like you don't want to be like,
Well, it's
Tarun
Tarun.
Shetty?
It's Tarun, but I say Tarun because I grew up in New Hampshire. Because nobody can. It's not spelled phonetically Tarun. But if I say Tarun on this thing, Indians would be like, "Dude, what is this guy doing?"
yeah, yeah.
So, but I like Tarun. It's just nobody can say it properly unless you're like from India or something.
Yeah, we all have the same issue. Like my last name is Sarvate, but my dad always said Sarvate growing up. And so everyone just, thought we were Mexican. But it's like, but now I'm trying to get it correct because Sarvate is like a nice, beautiful name. It's always like, I don't know. He was trying to not seem Indian at all. Like, I don't know why Indian people have some shame associated when they come to America.
Yeah.
It's like, but I'm taking it back. No, if I have a kid, dude, his name is going to be crazy.
But there's no way you can actually have people know it's Sarvate unless you put accents in your spelling. Like
Yeah, that's true.
We're at this impasse with their names.
I'm just going to have to say it a lot. I'm just going to say it every time I start talking, I'm just going to be like, "Hi, I'm Richard Sarvate, and I would like some more chai."
Oh, that's good. Well, tell me about your funny story, Richard. What happened to you? I heard some good things about you this week. Everyone's talking about it.
I was at FedEx, and as I was walking out of FedEx, this guy comes up to me and he goes like, "What are you?" And then he was like, he goes, "Are you from Ecuador or Hamas?"
Oh,
At FedEx?
wow.
Yeah, this happened at FedEx.
That's a great plug for FedEx.
I mean, this is a very happening FedEx
Yeah.
on Sunset and Gardner, but I mean, I've been
Couldn't
thinking
even
about.
mention two countries. Like,
No, I don't even understand how he did it. He was like, "Are you from South
But
America?"
Hamas isn't even a country.
yeah, he didn't
Like,
even
it's
give him
like,
two countries
bruh.
as an option.
He chose between a country and a Sunni Islamic military faction.
So what'd you say?
Yeah, which one did you
What was-
pick
what
from
was your
that
answer?
option?
I think I just was so confused. I was just like, "What?" And then I just walked in a daze to my car, and I've just been thinking about it ever since.
That's like when you get the dot or the feathers to choose from. When you tell people you're Indian. Have you ever heard that?
I've heard it, but I haven't had to experience it. Although I did make a joke, a poor one, about myself using the dot and the feathers, and you'll never believe with who. It was with Morgan Freeman. I was in New York. He did like some show on, I don't know if it was the National Geographics or what it was, but like basically he covered all the different religions across the world. I had just moved to New York and I was able to go to the screening and also get into the VIP area because someone that I knew was actually a producer or like working with Morgan Freeman. And so they invited me and I got to go. So of course, it's Morgan Freeman, it's the voice of God. So
Yeah.
you're just like, oh my God, I'm meeting God. And so I don't know what I was thinking. Sometimes I think I'm funny and I'm not, but I was like, oh, you want to hear a joke?
Oh, wow.
And then I don't know, I made I know the joke. I'm not going to say it. But anyways, it had to do with the dot on the head, and he didn't laugh.
When you tell a joke and somebody doesn't laugh, it is literally the worst feeling on the planet. I think about it for weeks.
Were you like, are you Hamas or from Palestine or whatever?
Well, because he was doing a documentary that showed like diversity of viewpoints. So like that joke maybe was like,
I mean, the documentary was over. We were all
yeah.
just hanging out, and just having conversation. And I was asking him what he thought about India.
Did he
and,
hit on you by this? Because I know he like
different-
dates like younger chicks, like younger girls. No,
that's
honestly,
what like segment.
that makes more
You
sense.
really want to
Yes.
make it a dating show.
Dude, 100%. I love this.
I'm always curious
This is
about
what
like
we
this guy's game.
Honestly, he did not. But if Morgan Freeman would have hit on me, I would have been flattered. And I would have been like, oh.
What's the
Yes,
oldest guy
please.
you've gone out with, Ritu?
I
As she laughs
have,
before.
well, I don't discriminate necessarily.
So many guys, you're thinking hard.
No, I think the oldest was probably like 14 years older than me.
That's not too bad. Right?
And the youngest, no, I'm like, are we going to go on the other end?
Oh,
of
you want to go to the other
spectrum?
end? So share. We're not.
Like maybe 8 years younger?
What ethnicity do you guys mostly tend to date?
I'll do it.
Oh, we are going there.
If you're into me,
Yeah.
I'm open.
If you're into me, you're open? Yeah. I date the ethnicities that like me, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much my only standard nowadays. Because if you chase a girl that's not into you, then you're just like wasting energy and resources.
Dude, choose people who choose you.
Wow. Tagline.
Naomi doesn't have this problem. She's like, what are you talking about?
Tagline.
Yeah, don't chase, attract.
Naomi, do you want to share your age preferences?
So
Oh, how's your dating? I know you're single. Are you married by now?
In 2 weeks?
She moves fast. Anything?
I
Prospects?
actually really don't move fast,
any
but
prospects?
Whose house are you decorating?
you know what? I decorate people's homes a lot, but I will not date clients. That's actually the one thing I will not do is date clients or people in the industry.
Smart.
Yeah.
Very smart.
But isn't that like as a grown-up adult, like it's not like you're going to school anymore and you're going
Yes.
to meet somebody in school. You only kind of meet and I'm saying meet as in like have conversation and dialogue that's not just beyond like he's hot, she's hot, I'm attracted to this person, I want to talk to them. Like you can actually have intellectual conversation with people that you work with or are in your industry.
Can you though? Can you?
Yes.
People have like fake personas at work. You really don't know who they are until like you're out and about.
Yeah, but like if you're in the industry or industries long enough, like, like say I'm not in this industry, but like if you were to go for auditions and you kept on like running into the same person at an audition and you guys just, you're in the waiting room or whatever and you end up having conversation, it's like, hey, you want to go grab coffee? You end up getting like to the reality of who they are rather than just like, cool, you're a good looking person auditioning. I'm a good looking person auditioning. There's so many people, right? But like, so like to rule out dating somebody.
I'll tell you what the difference is. When you're mentioning people meeting each other in auditions, you're at the same level. That person is not helping you get a project, right? So the people that I most frequently will regularly meet are clients that I'm working with all the time, and they are representing somebody else. So it feels different to be open to dating someone who I'm getting projects from. They're like a gatekeeper for me, where it's like a different power dynamic. And also it's like, okay, maybe if I had a corporate job and there's like a corporate structure, it would be different, but there's no HR in what I do. So I have to set the boundaries like pretty firmly about what is appropriate, what is not. So I do make it like a strict rule, like no one in my industry. And a lot of guys in my industry are like not straight. So
Okay.
it makes it if they're on the same side of what I do.
Actually, I came from a corporate background and I wouldn't
Yeah.
want to date anybody either senior or junior or to your point, like a client because that is weird. It
Unless
kinda,
they're Morgan Freeman.
he was not neither.
Yeah.
Richard, would you date someone if they could advance your career?
Do you want the answer that the world should hear, or the reality of the
I
situation?
want the real truth.
I mean, I think I'm pretty good at separating the two things. Like, if I date someone in the industry and then I break up, I'm not going to hold it against them. I'm pretty good at like not holding a grudge, you know. So, and I've dated plenty of people in the industry just because that's who I see the most often. And I do think it's like you're saying, like, who are you supposed to date? You just date the people that you hang out with. Like,
Yeah.
it's gonna be other, for me, it's gonna be other comedians, and that's it. And maybe if a fan comes to my show a lot, then, you know, what are the
So
options?
you're not doing the apps or anything.
No. I refuse the apps. No. All in person for me. Apps are utter garbage. And I'm sure you've noticed, like, you talk to someone on an app and your app persona versus real life persona is different.
You guys are in a good position being on stage because, like, one of the things girls tend to look for is he funny? And then it's like, well, we know he's funny. But then actually, I don't know about, like, off stage.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, that's different, right?
I'm usually a letdown after. It takes me like.
Oh, it's
they're
so
like,
hard.
Oh, this is
But
not.
you get the initial like meeting because they're gonna assume you have confidence,
Yeah.
and funny and some sort of charisma, right?
Yeah.
You can disappoint them later, but you get to have that initial like interest.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought
I'm
you.
not saying
Like,
you're
don't girls
disappointing.
hit
I'm
on you
just-
guys? Like, after the show, they want to come up and talk to you. And then, like,
Oh, yeah.
you have that opening that, like, that other guys don't. Like, girls don't always come up to other guys. You guys, like, are like,
Yeah.
you know, what is it? Bees to honey or whatever it is.
I was in Florida and I was doing shows with my friend, and we got off stage. These girls were hitting on us, and we were kind of busy. We didn't do anything. And he's also married, so he's like, I'm not going to do anything. But then I was kind of like, oh, this is interesting. And then we went to a bar, right, just to hang out with some of his guy friends, whatever, from Florida. And we saw the same girls there. They didn't pay any attention to us. My friend was like, dude, that's rule 101. You got to go straight from the club to our hotel, because once you're in a bar scene, you're like
nobody.
every other guy. And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot this rule.
It's such a weird thing because on stage, they're seeing this like version of you that you've perfected over 10 years. So you just are like amazing. And then you get off stage and your real personality comes out. I mean, it's
Your real
You
personality.
write your jokes
that
in
you've
advance.
destroyed over
Yeah.
however many years. Like,
right. Yeah. My real personality I have not worked on at all, but it's like, it's tough. Like one time at a show, me and these comics, we had a really good show, and then these girls came up to us and they're like, oh my God, you guys are so funny. Come with us to this bar. And then the moment we left the comedy club, like all our charisma was gone. Like the magic that was surrounding us. We went to this bar, and then there was like a lot of dancing at this bar. And then, like, you know, none of us could dance. And then they just eventually like moved away to some other guys. And then me and my comic friend were just drinking in the corner.
Do you feel like you have to put on a fake persona? Because guys have to like kind of turn on the charm. You're talking about charm. Do you feel like girls have to do that too? Put on like a fake charm?
I think I try to hide my personality in the beginning. I feel like I'm more goofy when people get to know me over a long period of time. And that's like not a good straight off the bat, like first date move to have. But I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. It could be a win for you because you're like hot. And then if you're goofy and you're like smart, you know, you kind of have the package then.
Don't you kind of feel like, real talk, don't you kind of feel like, I'm not trying to appeal to the masses in LA or anything. I just started dating again after like a really long time. So I'm really figuring it out. But I feel like everyone just seems so cold in the beginning. And like, that's really boring for me. Like coming from like a long relationship where I just want to like start giggling and all that. But like, it feels like there's this pressure to be a little like proper and
Everything knows
cool.
about cold. What?
Yeah.
And I'm not good at faking that for too long. Like I will break down within 20 minutes, but yeah, the first 20 minutes, I'm a little reserved, kind of trying to figure out what their sense of humor is. I guess.
Yeah, I say just break the ice. Just start tickling right away.
Oh,
I also feel like
that's
why are you putting so much pressure on like trying to figure out? It's kind of like this. I remember there was this old movie that I remember I had seen. It was with this Lisa Ray. It was an Indian movie with Lisa Ray and Rahul Khanna, and they're at the bar and they're chatting, and I don't know. He asked her about like, so who are you or something like that, and she's like, I can be anybody you want me to be. you know? And I always think that like, I know for me, because I'm so adaptable, I can actually show any facet of myself. And yet at the same time, like in hearing you say what you were just saying, that like, I'm kind of trying to figure out their sense of humor and this and that, because I think you probably have like a high EQ, right? Like you're going to be like, okay, what can this person manage? How much of myself do I want to reveal, not reveal, right? But at the same time, it's like, why not just show up as who you are and let them figure it out?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like all of you is going to come out at some point, and they're gonna have to see if that jives with them or not. Like if you guys are like have a synergy and you guys align. Otherwise, you're both gonna just, you know, like how people say like, oh, first date, you always put your best foot forward. I'm like, I just put a foot forward.
Yeah.
If you can, if you can dance with me on that foot, we'll dance. But if you can't, we can't dance.
Can I say Ritu's also like, you also do coaching. So by the way, you can look up Find Ritu if you want this private coaching one-on-one.
That's true.
she can
Yeah,
guide
so when
you
I
through
said
life.
I'm figuring out life, I'm actually figuring out other people's lives. No.
That's good. That's good. That's a good skill to have. I
Yeah.
need that.
Yeah, I say just be goofy right off the bat, because then you can just like eliminate, you know, bad prospects right away.
Yeah.
Just be like unapologetically yourself, and then people are gonna be like, oh shit, or like, oh yeah.
Sometimes it does take some people a little time to warm up. It's not that they don't want to talk to you or they don't want to be expressive.
Yeah.
It's just, it doesn't come to them as naturally. That's why I was saying you have a high EQ. You can probably dance around that, right, with them. But not everybody has that, which is also a good indication of like, is that somebody then for you? You know, like, are you okay with somebody being like, well, actually, I should ask, are you more extroverted or introverted?
When I'm around people I'm very comfortable with, I'm like very extroverted. But like if I like a guy, I'm so shy. I get very, very like, maybe that's what it is where my goofy side doesn't come out, because if I like someone, I'm like,
Yeah, you're like, you don't want to
that's
fuck it up.
literally my face the whole time. Yeah.
Which-
I get like nervous.
Which is hilarious, because if you were just super goofy, then you would probably connect faster.
Yeah, I don't think I can help that. I think it's like if it's like, you know, like having a little crush, I get like my version of getting a crush is like
This is
more
you?
of a listener. Yeah.
When there's two listeners, though, it's boring. You're just like staring at each other, like, all right, someone has got to take control over this.
Well, if they look good, it's not so bad.
Oh, that's true. But but don't you think like the attraction goes away initially?
Does it for you,
Does
Thara?
it?
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
turn it on you.
No,
How about you?
I
How do you
mean,
feel about
honestly,
that?
like I think the sex gets boring. First of all, after
Did you say sex is boring?
the sex gets boring.
Oh.
I mean, you got to like.
Oh, he went there.
I was like, did I hear
What?
that
Oh,
right?
this podcast just got R-rated.
I was like,
You'll play this back and be like, Tarun's never getting married because your
I don't
future
even care.
wife is
I
going
don't
to see
even care at
this.
this point. I
he's
don't
gonna,
even
he's gonna
care.
end. I'll be your sex therapist.
Yeah. What's great is like you
Yeah.
stop caring as you go through life. You're just like, whatever. Let me just go after my goals, and whatever happens, happens.
You can go after your goals and still be attracted to somebody.
I
after
guess you
years.
can. I guess you can. But I don't know. I guess that's where I am in my life. I'm just
Yeah.
like, whatever happens, happens. The whole Desi route of traditional stuff, I think I've just took a detour somewhere along the way. I'm in Mexico somewhere, or Hyderabad. Everything's good. What was your fun story this week?
Ooh, my fun story this week. I was at a wedding in Big Sur. That was a lot of fun.
When you go to weddings, do you feel like I should be at this wedding? This is my wedding. Or are you happy if you're a friend?
I think I'm past that stage.
You know,
Should be my,
this should be me.
this should be my groom. What?
that is there anybody that objects to this? Me. I object. It's mine.
That should be my dress.
I know. No, I don't feel that way at all, because like I genuinely feel, I'm so happy for my friends, because I genuinely feel like the partners that they've chosen and have chosen them are the partners for them. You know what I mean? So like when I'm there, I'm like, it's like I'm watching a movie and I'm like, oh my God, it's like a dream come true for what they want in life. I know I'm clear on what I want in life. So I don't really watch someone else's movie and think I should be the star. I'm writing my own script.
This is part
And
of your
here we
script.
are.
Yeah, here we are.
In a podcast.
I'm so happy to be part of your script.
This is Act 2.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, yeah, it is. I mean, when I said that I'm figuring out what I'm doing with life, is that I'm being much more conscious and aware of where I want the next 20 years of my life to go. I'm a person who likes to reinvent and recreate myself. So I would say every junction of every decade, I've done something different. And so when I entered the 40s, that junction, I decided, okay, well, now I'm going to do, I don't know if I decided, life decided, universe decided, something decided for me that now it's ready for, now we are ready for a change. And so that's why I'm taking my time to figure out that this next horizon that I have, if I think about it from like 40 to 50, 60, right? Like I want the next 20 years, the contribution that I make to be significant in many ways. And I don't just want to like wake up one day and just look back and be like, I didn't do all the things I wanted to do. And part of being on this podcast is that, because when we used to work together at Showbiz, you were so sweet. And I know you don't remember this, but you made me a demo reel to like send out to like studios. I never did anything with it. Obviously, I moved on with my corporate career, but I look back and I'm like, you know what? I really do like communications. I like speaking. My Instagram handle is Ritu Talks for a reason, you know? And so I love having a voice, and I also love working with people.
I love doing a podcast because I have to talk sometimes, and it's like it's such a good like I feel like I socialize more on podcasts than I do outside of podcasts. Like this is like really my social time right now.
You can only talk if you're in a podcast.
Really, otherwise I feel like I don't have permission to talk. Like when I'm at a party, like literally people come up to me and they go like, "Why are you not talking?" And they say like they
You're like, "Where's my microphone and headset?"
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, I'm not. There's
He
no
needs
camera.
proper lighting. He needs Phil.
Yeah.
He needs that best seat in the house.
Exactly. I'm like, no, this background's not good right now. I can't talk.
He needs purple background with like golden decor.
I mean, how do you feel about Indian weddings?
So unfortunately, like I don't have a lot of like Desi friends, and so I
How do
haven't.
we?
Well,
friends?
I mean, are you getting married?
Maybe.
Okay, well then I'll come to your wedding.
Okay.
In Mexico.
In Mexico, apparently. But I wish I did more. It's not like I don't want to, or like the friends that I have, they're already married. But I would love to go to more Indian weddings. I love langas. It's really fun.
Do you have a requirement for how much money you have to spend on your wedding?
I never really thought about that. I thought about the location more, I think, because I do love to travel a lot, and I never really thought about my wedding before until I went to Kotor, Montenegro.
Wait, where?
Montenegro.
I don't know where that is. Where
It's
is
like
that?
2-hour drive from Dubrovnik, Croatia. And it's really cool because
Why are you laughing?
okay, I'll break it down. You know that scene in Game of
It's
Thrones?
about 30 minutes from Gaza Strip.
Okay, you know that scene where they say shame in Game of Thrones, where they cut her hair and they like, strip her naked.
Yeah.
Cersei, I mean, is that her name? But the stairs where they filmed that is Dubrovnik, and most people don't know too much about Montenegro, but it's just like a 2-hour drive from there, and it's really pretty. It doesn't have a lot of American tourists.
And is that how you want to be presented at the wedding? Like they cut your hair and just take off your clothes?
No, because that's Dubrovnik.
like
I'm talking
Mad
about
Max
Montenegro. Get with the program. No, I mean, I don't want I've never really thought about like a huge wedding, because I more thought about like a destination wedding. So I kind of figured, hey, a lot of people can't fly. Like I have family who's like never been on a plane. They'll never get on a plane.
I hate destination weddings. I will not. If I have to take more than 2 connecting flights, I'm not coming to your wedding.
It's a great process of elimination. You get to have people there who are going to put in the effort, and then like you do not have to care about anyone who will not put in the effort.
How about you, Richard? What do you think?
At first, I didn't want to spend a lot of money on my wedding, but then I went to my friend's wedding, and he, like for the Barath, he had us all on a boat, and we all delivered him on a boat to the bride, and it was like a 3-day wedding at this resort. And I was like, oh man, now I got to step it up. Do you think it's weird? Like your friend has an expensive wedding. Do you have to have a more expensive wedding to like compete, you know?
Indians do that though. Like some of them are all about competition to see who could throw the most lavish wedding.
Yeah. That should be a reality show for sure.
There is. I think it's a show,
It is.
right?
There's a couple.
Okay.
So they have like,
I was like, idea.
you know, in India, like they have, I don't know, maybe my family did this, but like they start a bank account
Yeah,
when the
people do
girl
that.
is born. So it accrues like
It's not a college fund, it's the wedding fund.
It's a wedding fund, and then you have like some people in the family contribute to it, but you don't have to contribute a lot.
Oh,
Because
when you
it
said
has
that,
so
I was
much
thinking
time.
dowry. Like maybe they're saving for
No,
the dowry.
it's like a savings account.
They do that
has
for
so
that
much-
too back then.
Yeah.
The dowry would get included, I
Does that
think.
still exist today? Having a dowry?
I don't know about that being. I've never heard of that. My family is like pretty traditional, and
Yeah.
I don't think that's like a
I
traditional
think they
thing.
banned it. Like I think there's a
did?
law now, but I think like some still probably muscle their way to getting it. I don't think in the big cities, but in the villages.
I think like it used to happen
Sorry, Richard.
back in the day where it's like, one person is like not educated and they're coming from like a rural town. So like the family that incorporates her she's seen as like a financial burden. And I just don't think that that's happening a lot in India, because India now is like so many people are getting more educated and going to the cities that there's no like need for it as much as they used to be back in the day.
Do you think that have you guys been following the Ambani's pre-wedding stuff?
Oh my
Oh
god.
Do
yeah.
you think that the girl is
Rihanna's-
giving a dowry?
Can we see?
No, but can you imagine? Like, how are you going to give the richest people in the world a dowry?
I think she's from. a
She's
really
pretty
rich
wealthy,
family,
too.
Let's just
yeah.
set that up. The Ambanis are the most richest, one of the richest
in
Indians
South Asia. Yeah,
Yeah.
they are the richest.
in the world. And
Yeah.
their son is getting married, and they're having
Pre-wedding
huge-
festivities. Talk about destination wedding.
pre-wedding. Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Well-
did. They booked out the whole whatever downtown area of Portofino in Italy, and then
There were
had
complaints about them because they
Yeah.
took over the town, right?
the
There were
locals
complaints
weren't
about
happy.
Rihanna's performance, which was
Who?
like I
Rihanna
think that's
came
how a
out.
lot of non
Yeah.
Indian people got to know about this Ambani wedding.
Because of Rihanna.
Yeah.
Rihanna's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
kind of like not put too much effort into that wedding,
They pay her like $5 million or something.
something like
Yeah,
that.
and then she got the girl's name wrong. She's like Radiki.
Oh,
So happy for you, Radiki. And
Most expensive
Whatever his name is.
mispronunciation of a word.
Hey, Tarun here, real quick. We are currently looking for sponsors. If you want to be a part of this podcast and help us, please reach out to me at theconversutra@gmail.com. Back to the episode.
I think everything does tie back into strategic business deals. Rihanna's great, and yeah, she performed, but guess what? The Ambanis have the rights to Sephora in India, and the very next day, they were going to be launching Fenty in India. So it makes sense, right? So she gets to be there and perform. But
What
who
is
knows?
Fenty?
Fenty's her beauty brand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like basically what made her a billionaire.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
that's why I feel like she doesn't need the money. So.
No, but I think like in order to be able to promote her brand, she needed that alliance. So it's like, okay, you scratch my back, I scratch your back. I mean, like I'm just speculating, but I think that may have kind of factored into the equation there. You know, it was just kind of lined up, teed up really well.
Yeah.
Wow, she's like an
Did you just
aristocrat
say
now.
what is Fenty?
Yeah. Why would I know what Fenty is?
You know what? No, I think it's great to ask questions like that. I say there's no such thing as a stupid question.
I thought she said fentanyl. That's why I said, what is Fenty?
So Fenty is actually her last name. Her name is Robin Fenty. I think Rihanna's her middle name.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
I just want to put it out there for listeners of this podcast. If there is a woman that would offer 3 goats to marry me, I will take it.
3 goats.
What are you gonna do with those goats?
They're so cute.
Okay.
Like I already make goat noises all the time. Like I'll just be like, "Meh," every once in a while. So, you know,
Are you gonna cuddle with them?
of course.
I
What
have
about the
allergies.
wife then?
What do you need the wife
Who's gonna
for?
cuddle with her?
Well, you know, after I get bored of the wife, you know.
She's jealous of the goat.
Someone just retracted their offer after they heard you getting bored of the wife.
See, that's the thing. Just stop me from talking.
Just like Tarun getting bored with sex.
No,
You just want to make your wife jealous. So
maybe it was like an Ambani daughter. I mean, would you marry for money? Let's start with Ritu. If like, let's say like there's another, there's another Ambani brother, and he was like, Ritu, oh my God, I love your energy healing. Can you marry me? Would you consider it
No, I mean like
because of his money?
I didn't get to this point to be like, oh, okay, let me just like say yes to anybody that walks up and
Yeah.
has XYZ, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not saying that, having stability and security isn't important, but your direct question of like, could you marry somebody for money? Like, I think at the end of the day, kind of like how you were saying, like, don't you just get bored or maybe even feel empty, whether it's from a physical standpoint or whatever. At the end of the day, if you don't like the person, what are you gonna do? I don't want to get married just so I could like cheat on the guy and have an affair with somebody else.
Yeah.
Like the house help,
Well,
So I guess the answer is no.
okay. You could have said no. Thanks for the backstory.
No pool boys for Ritu.
Naomi, how about you? What if
No
what,
hot pool boys. What about me?
What if there's like some like super billionaire dude and he was like, "Yo, I'm gonna buy you unlimited black dresses for the rest of your life.
Do you have to be a
Will you
billionaire?
marry me?"
Yeah, I'm flattered. You have to go with the billionaire route. One thing that I have noticed from being single is like I have encountered people who are kind of like weird about if I made more money than them. So I definitely do not want to be in that situation because I've seen that like I can handle that and it doesn't bother me. But I've noticed that like not all guys are kind of like comfortable with that. And with like wanting a really rich guy, I really feel like I don't need beyond a certain level of lifestyle. I'd rather have like a guy who can like travel more and like not work so hard that like we can't enjoy the money together or
A
travel
stewardess,
together.
like a Southwest stewardess.
Well, you know what? Like when you're like a companion on one of these airline things, like that's a really good hookup.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not what I'm looking for.
Are
But-
you speaking from experience here?
No. Simple answer, no.
But guys get intimidated because you make more money than them.
I mean, I'm not gonna like generalize everything because it's like I haven't dated that much at all since I became single. But I have noticed that was an issue where initially like this guy would like brag to his friends, "Oh, she makes more money than me," but then like after a little bit of time, it became like these like backhanded compliments. After a while, when we were like alone and in private, I was like, "Oh, this is like feels weird."
How do you backhand compliment someone about making like, "Oh, I guess you're paying for everything
Oh,
again."
like
Oh, cool. Look at all this money.
So, okay, I'll give you an example. It would be like weird, out of nowhere, no context, like, "Oh, you can be my sugar mama," kind of thing. And I was like, you laugh a couple of times, and then I'm like, wow, this is a really reoccurring joke that has no context of the conversation we just had. And it was just, yeah.
Are they a lot younger than you?
Younger than me? No.
Oh.
No.
Basically, you're killing it.
No, I just think that like, okay, if you sometimes like have your own business, there's you can get to different ceilings depending on, your market and things like that. So it became a problem for, I mean, one or two people.
Yeah, I would not have a problem with it.
Yeah.
So you'd marry for money?
No, I would not marry for money. I don't need very much to be happy. Yeah, I'm very chill. There's literally nothing I want to buy right now.
See, I say that, but
Yeah.
I don't know if I mean it because I like nice things.
Yeah, you do. The other day, Tarun just shows up with a Prada hat, and I was like, what is this? It's literally just the tiniest Prada logo right here.
That was a
You
gift. Somebody gave that to me.
Okay.
Who'd be gifting you that?
It was just a hat. Yeah, and the tiniest logo, and you have to like look really hard to see that it's a Prada hat. And I was like, do we need this?
Biggest turnoff in a guy is a guy who wears huge logos on their shirts. I hate that.
Really?
I hate that.
Why?
I think it's so
Tacky.
It's so tacky. And I
Yeah.
think, honestly, I'm not even like, I kind of think that even when like girls do that, when the words are especially written out. Logos sometimes, okay. But I hate like the brand. Like it feels like
In your
being
face.
stamped and it's in your face.
I feel
like-
like unless you can have that kind of stuff stolen and lose no sweat, then you shouldn't have it.
I like to perform
what
with
you
the
mean.
big QR code on my shirt that takes you to my Instagram handle. Is that weird?
No, that's entrepreneurial.
A
of you.
giant
I like
barcode
that.
so you can do
That's
Apple Pay.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
Yeah,
a
I got
green
Venmo,
flag.
Apple. Okay, perfect. Yeah, this man's practical,
Have you guys heard of this thing called stealth wealth, where like super rich people?
dude. On it. Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah,
You
people
guys know
that
what
just
I'm
are
talking about?
practical. They only spend their money. They fix their, Corolla, and they got millions in the bank. Yeah, I respect it.
The people who are ultra wealthy don't feel the need to express it, while like these brands like Gucci and Prada, etc., they're actually catered more for the middle class because they want to seem wealthy, maxing out our credit cards to buy these
Yeah.
products.
So when I went to, when I was in Big Sur, which by the way, for the record, was not for an Indian wedding, And it was beautiful. But we went, my friend and I, we got in early, another friend, and we had lunch at this place. It's called Post Ranch Inn, and the restaurant's called Sierra Mar. Anyways, so we're having lunch there, right? We're not staying there because it's $3,000 a night to stay at one of these like beautiful like cottage settings that they have, all very individual. So we're eating there, and I see this guy, and he is sitting there with his flannel pajamas, right? The bottoms of it, just like a whatever t-shirt. His lady friend, girlfriend, whoever is there. She's got like a big oversized t-shirt and also kind of like whatever frumpy pants. And they're eating there. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, they didn't even get ready for lunch. Like versus like there was a group of ladies probably there for a celebration. And you could tell they were a little bit done up wearing the dresses, and they had like I don't know, whatever, Tory Burch sunglasses and this and that. So you could tell they probably came from nearby around or something, or this was like their big lunch out. And I was looking at them versus this couple. And then I was thinking, you know what? This dude is probably like, I don't give a, because I'm staying here. He literally probably woke up from his $3,000 cottage, pranced over, decided he wanted to have a meal, enjoyed it, and was probably going to go back to the room and have some more enjoyment, right? So it's like he didn't have to prove anything, like a sense of belonging at a place like that. Versus maybe some other people feel like, oh my gosh, I'm going to this place. I need to like dress up, or I need to look the part. And just public service announcement, the part is look like you came in your pajamas. Then you actually look like you belong there.
Was he there with someone who looked like their partner, like his wife or his girlfriend?
I think so.
I'm all for like, you know, being casual if you're staying there. Maybe they just went down to eat. But like, I feel like you still need to like date your wife and date your girlfriend. Like not get lazy about it. So like when you were speaking, I was like, oh, I wish she kind of got dressed a little bit for her. I mean,
she didn't either though.
Are those your
Like,
expectations?
she looked
if
like-
you date someone's gonna like always be put together.
not always, but I think that like you don't have to do grand gestures to keep somebody happy. I think like making a moment cuter by putting a little bit more effort into like, you know, dressing like you thought about it for a minute extra is a nice thing to do. It doesn't cost you more. You just put a little bit more thought into it.
I feel like we should all go around and say our love languages.
You're getting dressed well for the other person.
Combing your hair, brushing your teeth. Yeah, go for it, Richard. So.
Mine is words of affirmation. I just love a good word of affirmation.
I have a really bad back, so it's getting dressed for the other person and being good at massages.
No.
That's a lot of work.
What does getting dressed have to do with a bad back? Them
No,
dressing you?
I just mentioned too.
Oh, okay.
Because
I thought they have to dress you because you can't bend.
well, actually, when you're getting a massage, you're usually not wearing that much. If you could want to like really get in there with like, you know, the oils and stuff. I need like a deep tissue. So yeah, actually that's my number one thing someone
So
can
it's
do
like
for me.
acts of service.
Acts of service, specifically massage.
Mine's make me coffee and daddy issues. No, I
How did they make you daddy issues? I think you have to explain.
I think it's understanding his daddy issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, who has the daddy issues, them or you?
Isn't that
both.
what is a male daddy issue?
Well, I guess if your dad abandons you, right? So if he's not there,
It's not different for like guys and girls or.
well, I'll tell you, the girls who have like I've dated who their fathers like were past young or something, there's definitely something different about them, where it's different. I can't explain it, but
You can't explain it on a public podcast is what you mean.
I don't want to.
You can
Okay, go back to your love language.
I don't want to. I don't want to offend the girlfriend.
You started it.
No, but I think words of support is really helpful for me.
Isn't it so nice? Just like, hey, you're doing a great job. And you know what, Tarun? I think you're doing a great job with this podcast. I love hanging out with you, and I think you're so cool to talk to.
Do you feel like comedians need this more as a love language?
Well, I'm super insecure. I definitely need people to just be like, hey, I'm on your team. If you're on my team, great. But like LA is such a self-absorbed community. Everybody you meet is like in it for themselves. And you're just like, Jesus, can I just meet someone who's like actually going to support me
Yeah.
as well? And then you're like, well, fuck it. Let me just do this on my own.
Well, Darren, if it helps any, like when you called me and asked if I wanted to do this, or we had a call, but like when you text me, in my mind, I was like, yeah, of course I'm gonna do it. You're doing it.
No, I appreciate it.
You know what I mean?
Thank you.
But it's like, you're right though. Like, are there people that will like back you up because it's you and not because of like what you have or who you know? But it's like, no, I like Tarun.
But you really do want someone who's going to be there when shit hits the fan, and that's a lot in this town. What do you think, Richard?
Yeah, I think LA makes your brain really strong because you're dealing with a bunch of people that are trying to use you, get to places, and it's very strategic. It's like everybody's a politician. So I think being here, like if you find someone that you can stick with, it's like extra special. It's like going to war with someone. If you find a friend in LA, that's like a real friend.
It's interesting you say that because I lived in New York too. And I would say like New York can kind of have that vibe. LA can have that vibe. Quite frankly, anywhere can have that vibe if that's kind of like the people you surround yourself by, right? Because like I have to say like this past week when I was in San Francisco, I was like, wow, everyone is so nice here, you know? But I have to say like whether it's been New York or whether it's been LA, I have met some really just like genuine, authentic, wonderful people. And then the ones that I immediately get kind of like the vibe that I'm like, you know what? Like I can feel that they're a social climber or like that they're just kind of like in it for something else.
Oh,
I
LA's the
slowly
worst.
start to remove myself from the situation. Not that they have anything really major to benefit from me, by the way, but I don't want to be associated with that energy. I don't find it authentic and it's a turn off.
What do you guys think about like Desi infighting? Because like a lot of times I feel like with Desi people, like it feels like a brother-sister relationship where it's like all of a sudden like Desi people can get on my nerves more than any other people.
Do you think it's?
Are we getting on your nerves?
Yeah, I was just gonna say. I was like, have we all gotten on your nerves right now?
Guys,
What's
like,
happening?
I'm
That's
done.
what prompted this conversation.
Guys, I gotta go. Okay, no.
It's time.
Do you think it's because like our parents kept comparing us to our cousins, or like, did you get that? Where it's like, oh, she's doing this. What are
Yeah,
you doing?
yeah.
And then like we kind of like by association kind of
Oh,
feel that
100%.
cousin effect.
Yeah, my dad would not talk to the rest of the family because my cousins went to like MIT and stuff like that, and I didn't. And so my dad was too embarrassed to talk to his siblings because he was like embarrassed that I didn't go to a good enough school.
Oh,
Yeah.
everyone doesn't
Sorry to
have
bring
to
it
have
down.
the same path.
This is such like a Daisy podcast. My son didn't go to MIT.
This is the Convo Sutra, dude.
What a sad,
Yeah.
tragic story this is.
But you know, my mom's also still like upset I'm not a doctor because it was like her dream.
Mm-hmm.
And I think because like they come from a spot where it's like these certain jobs were like legit, and we don't live in that environment.
Mm-hmm.
So we can do so many things that are fun and cool and still be a legit career. And I do see like people are changing our parents are changing their views on it, but that's like slow I got the same thing.
Yeah, it's slow. And like nobody in my family understands what I do. Like I visited my family recently and they're like, how's that thing that you do at night going? I was like, the thing that I've supported myself for the last decade, it's going pretty good. And they're like, okay, yeah. And they're like, what do you do for work? And I was like, ugh.
You know what I think it is? I think that I hear you guys because I've heard all of that, right? Even from like body comparisons, right? Like they're easily like for girls, it's like, oh, she's put on weight. Oh, look at how skinny
Why
she
is it always
is, or
fat
whatever.
aunties that
it
say
always,
this?
I know, but it's always like a topic, right?
Yeah.
So that natural grain of comparison is just there. In some ways, they're not also fully to blame because they've been conditioned that way their whole lives. Like they were set up with those standards and benchmarks to live up to as like how society defined success. And so when they see us as their offsprings or people in their circle, they just, sometimes it's, you know, when it's within your family, they do it more out of like concern to be like, do you have a stable lifestyle?
Yeah.
Do you have a stable career? Do you have
Stable cholesterol.
a partner who's going to support you, kind of a thing, right? Like that's really like the genuine meaning concern behind it. It's not to put a dagger, but we feel it as a dagger because sometimes we're struggling within ourselves to be like, am I a failure or am I not? Should I have become a doctor? Like, you know, and it's like, no, I shouldn't have. But at the same time, you end up questioning yourself, and they're not doing it to make you question yourself.
Yeah.
It's just they don't know what else. Like they don't know how else. Like how are you making a
They
living
don't know how
doing
to
that
have
night
proper
thing?
conversations that connect with people sometimes. Like, I
Yeah.
feel like the subject is like, what are you doing? This and that. And it's like, with trying to engage in aunties, it's like 3-4 subjects. And then it's like, oh, okay, you don't actually know anything going on in their lives, or you don't know about their personalities. Like, one thing I really think about is, did we ever get to know each other's like personalities beyond these like questions?
Yeah. I'm pretty like straight up and blunt, you know? So I think like a lot of times they're just like, what just came out of her mouth? And I'm
Yeah.
like,
Also, the
Yeah.
fair skin thing, right? Isn't that like a big thing for girls, like having fair skin, dark skin? How often have you used Fair and Lovely skin products? Ritu.
I haven't had to use Fair and Lovely. But I do get comments that I've, gotten tanner, like, oh, kali lag rahi hai, you look dark, like that kind of
I think they
thing.
reserve comments like that for girls that they consider like medium to lighter. And like I would get those comments too. Like my brother's a lot lighter skinned than me and has like really green
Really?
eyes. A lot. And so like I would get comments like
albino? Like what? You're
he
already really
looks
light.
he looks like his skin tone's very light. He
Okay.
looks more like Greek color wise. But then I would get comments like
Green eyes.
yeah, and he's taller too. That's another thing.
Dreamy.
But I would get comments like,
Single?
"Oh, why couldn't the
Yeah.
Green eyes.
Can I meet your
Greek
brother?
Model. Dreamy.
curly
I know,
hair?"
I'm like, what?
Trust me, he's not dreaming.
Where's your brother been hiding all these years?
But like I would get comments like, "Oh, why couldn't like the good traits be like on her instead of going to him because she's the girl? Like, oh, why couldn't she be the lighter one?" And then I would get things like, "Oh yeah, don't go in the sun."
You seriously get those comments? They were like, "Why did?"
Dude, my mom still says this
Why
to
did
me.
Naomi get all the bad parts?
Yeah,
It's like twins,
Wow.
Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny
that's
DeVito.
my comparison is like the theft of joy. Like
Well, you just need to hang out with all people that are darker than you.
it doesn't bother me.
No,
either
I know.
way.
It's totally fine. No, but like I'm just saying, yeah, like when you compare yourself to people, you'll feel really bad, and that's why I only follow people on Instagram that are doing worse than me.
Maybe that's why I wore like full sleeves, just in case I got some UV rays.
Richard,
My mom has trained me.
Did you get the physical comparison as a young Desi boy?
Well, why? Just because I look Indian? Or
No, I
seem-
mean it's the same way the girls did, but like skin complex. I mean, 'cause
Yeah.
I did, and I can share that. But I just want to hear your.
Oh yeah, no, I it makes me mad how excited people are about how light skinned I am. Like if I go to India, like I feel like they'll just make me prime minister right now. Like, but I'm like, yo, this
You
doesn't
look
matter.
like Rahul Gandhi a bit.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, thank you. I never think about skin color. I just think it's so funny. That's why I talk about skin color openly, because I think it's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because it's ridiculous here, but it is, you know what? It's not ridiculous over there because it is a thing. Like you can say that money is just a piece of paper, but it has value, right? In India, light skin has value for
Yeah.
people because
Yeah.
they follow that.
Yeah.
And when you look at the paper and when you see these things, like it says like they put their complexion in the description right next to what degree they have.
do?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
100%. And
Do they
so
do-
like we can be here and be like, oh, like I don't care because like I like to tan and this and that because we're not dealing with guys that maybe their moms, have that mentality, but we're not dealing with guys who are like, oh, I don't think she's attractive because she's on that end of the spectrum. But back home, it is a thing.
We're lucky to live in America where really dark skin is super attractive and really white skin is attractive. It's like not an issue anymore.
I don't know about all of America, but
Yeah,
in the part of America we live in.
I'm living in my little bubble. I'm
We're in
like,
LA.
it's so great that
Yeah.
racism is over, you know?
Yeah.
Like, isn't
This
that
is
awesome?
an LA
Yeah.
conversation.
No, I think Desi guys though still have complexes. Like I know like height's a big thing with Desi dude. Any guy, I guess, in general. I know
I
like
think it's for a lot of guys, yeah.
I mean, I wear glasses now, like on stage, and before I was like, do I look nerdy? I'm like, I don't even care anymore. So it's just like, I feel like the way you carry yourself, like the confidence, like everything kind of just comes together, and you got to own who you are. And if you have a problem with that, then that's on you. Right, Ritu? We need your coaching.
Okay. I'm going to do a quick experiment, okay? I'm going to stand up for 2 seconds. You guys tell me how tall you think I am, okay?
But we're like so low right now.
Oh, do
Let's
it.
try it.
Okay.
Okay. 1, 2.
6'3".
Okay, 6'3" from Tarun. Thank you.
5'7",
5'7".
5'8", maybe.
5'8". Okay.
5'9".
Wow. Okay, I am 5'8". Yeah, that's awesome because most people tell me I'm 5'8", but I have 5'10" vibes.
You wear lifts in your shoes, by the way, too? 'Cause some
No,
guys
I
do
don't.
That. Seriously, I thought you were like 5'9", 5'10".
So I had a friend tell me that because I told him I'm 5'8", and he goes, "No, we have to measure you right now." I'm 100% sure you're 5'10". We measured, and I'm definitely 5'8".
How do you guys feel about Doc Martens? You know, they add height for guys in
do?
ways that like, well, I guess now you guys know, but like if you wear Doc Martens, like the sole is like thicker. I feel like that's like you guys like push-up
Savior.
bra.
It's
Like
like the
the male
heels.
version of it,
It's
yeah.
like, yeah.
I'm 6 feet tall, by the way, 6'1".
I mean,
So
but you
I'm
could
not-
always be taller. I mean, you know.
Oh my God, really?
You can always be taller.
I mean,
So wait, is height a big deal for girls? Would you date
It's a
someone
pretty
who's-
big deal. I mean, we can just,
Oh, Richard,
I'm not insecure about it, but it is a big deal.
girls, what do you think?
You know what? For me, being 5'2", it's a big deal because I'm not gonna date somebody shorter than me.
So if he's 5'3" and above, you're fine?
No, no. I mean, like, you know, I don't know. Yes, it is a big deal.
Why?
I don't know.
Genetically? Because you were like, my kids have got to be basketball players? Or something?
No, I don't care about that. Like, that's whatever. But no, I think like it's a big deal in terms of like I just want to feel attracted to the person. And like, I feel like 5'2" and 5'2" is not going to work.
Yeah.
But what did you say? 5'3"?
Yeah. I mean, what's your,
No,
do you have
like
a cutoff?
at least like 5'5", 5'6", you know, I would consider that. But like 5'2" is like a little too little.
Yeah.
I'm too little. Like, you know, we
Sure.
would just not look like a good match to me.
It's just biological, you know. The woman just kind of wants to look up a little bit. It's just like in your DNA.
I like really tall guys, but the one person I had my long relationship with was like 5'7" and a half.
I thought you were going to be like, he was shorter, like 6'1", you know.
No. So I actually really, I find like tall height like really attractive because like I'm short in my family, right? So I was like always kind of, and I was slower to having like a growth spurt. So like everyone also kind of like pointed out, oh, she's so little. Is she like going to be taller or whatever? But I thought I really cared about height, but like my one relationship that really mattered, I did not care in that one particular circumstance. But if I'm going to be superficial and it not being someone I already love, like, yeah, I mean, 6'1" would be nice.
It's like the initial thing that gets you in the door. It's like being on stage and crushing at a show. It's like, okay, now the door's open for like an interview. Yeah. But like, if you can,
Jon Stewart is 5'7", and like he's always been like the love of my life. Like you can ignore it.
Is he? Oh yeah. Okay.
famous people are short, by the way.
confusing him.
Like Jamie Foxx is 5'8", I think.
Yeah.
I think he's
lot of
shorter.
Really?
Jamie
like-
Foxx?
Yeah, Jamie
Maybe
Foxx.
there's, like,
Yeah.
Tom Cruise, Dustin
Tom
Hoffman,
Cruise is super short. Yeah, famous people are short.
Yeah.
Oompa Loompas.
Kendrick Lamar is like 5'6".
Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
And then there's Kevin Hart.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Kevin Hart is what I was thinking when you said Jamie Foxx. Kevin Hart's really short, right?
He's
Yeah.
shorter than me.
Yeah.
If you're 5'3" and above, hit up. Anybody?
No, don't hit me up.
Well, let's wrap this up. Richard, where can we find you, Richard?
Find me on Instagram at Richard the Comedian. I'm the only comedian on Instagram, and I have a really fun show at the Comedy Store, July 28th.
You can find me on Naomi.Parmar, and I'm not performing on stage, but I'll be on my Instagram.
You can find me at Ritu Talks if you want to hear more about my thoughts. You can also find me at Inner Sanctuary Wellness on Instagram, where I host workshops and retreats and launching some new stuff there as well.
Find me Tarun Shetty on Instagram, Facebook. I want to thank all of you for coming by. Wishing you all continued success. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you next episode.
Have an auspicious day.